So what's going to happen here with our weather for this week? Knowing what we know now about the crops. First of all, I want to take you where there's snow. That's right, snow. There's snow right now. No, I don't want to subscribe, but thank you, Vancouver is awesome. If you're driving on Ontario Wednesday morning, be prepared for a slippery drive. That's right, folks. Looks like a little thin coating of snow on the ground. Nothing too crazy, but the elevation of this picture is only 1621 meters. But December night, or it's very high. Well, you know, it's just to think about how it could be a lot more snow if it was in a higher elevation, not just a dusting.
Carlos Ramirez just shared a bleak report on Twitter. Alberta's getting some nasty cold weather.
You know, I saw that in the GFS forecast. Mari says that Carlos on Twitter is saying that Alberta's getting some very cold weather right now, and I thought we saw something in the GFS, and that is now being confirmed. So snow in Canada and BC, and then severe weather once again. I mean, this is over and over and over again. These areas that are getting threatened with severe weather almost on a daily basis. Here's a current look at our radar. Columbus, Dayton, you just got a bunch of rain, a little bit of light showers behind it. Nothing to really worry about. Thanks but no thanks, Weather Channel, on the ads. Hail is estimated to be as large as 3 to 4 inches in diameter in Polk County, Arkansas on Wednesday evening. The very large hail reportedly caused damage in Cove, Arkansas. Flash flooding was reported in Columbus, Ohio Wednesday evening. There were reports of waist-deep water along Interstate 71 just downtown of Columbus. And I want to share with you really quick, I-71 from Cincinnati to Columbus. I just had a lady comment how she was driving from Cincinnati, I-71 up through Columbus and looking at all the fields, the farm fields in water, standing water. And now we're hearing of waist-deep water in some areas along Interstate 71. So the situation here in Ohio is getting from bad to worse in a hurry, and we'll show you the GFS and when we're going to see some relief from the rain. Stormy forecast, slow-moving frontal system will glide through the plains and Ohio Valley to the East Coast by Thursday night. The threat for scattered severe storms will focus on the East Coast on Thursday, with the potential for significant flight delays Thursday afternoon in the major airport hubs of the Northeast, including 3 New York City area airports, Boston, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and D.C. Damaging wind gusts are the main threats for these storms, but an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out. A few isolated severe storms are also possible Thursday in parts of the Plain States. Mid-Missouri Valley, large hail is the greatest threat in these areas. Again, chance of flash flooding. Columbus, you're reporting more. Now, I-71 runs on the northeast side of Columbus, so that part of I-71 could possibly see more flooding rains. But look at that, smack dab through Indianapolis, Indiana, Richmond, Indiana, into southwestern Ohio, Dayton, Greenville, Brookville, all those rural areas out there along I-75, Salina, Lima, Ohio, St. Mary's, Ohio. You guys have a very moderate chance of flash flooding through early Thursday morning this week. Additional rounds of severe thunderstorms and flooding rains are expected Friday into this weekend. Parts of the plains and Midwest. Giving us a link here for more on the story. And just an update from Tuesday's weather from the Kansas, which by the way, we saw some very large hail in Kansas yesterday and very heavy rain in the area that I was expecting to see heavy rains across Wichita, Kansas City. Also, a tornado broke out on the 1st, but this was already reported on. But so, yeah, more of the same, this pattern of there's storms on the east, there's storms on the west, there's storms in the south. And I wanted to show this before I go into the GFS outlook. Wisconsin's towns lingering snow pile. Will it ever melt? I had to look at this story because last year this time they talked about this same snow pile that wouldn't go away. In the middle of June, finally it goes away. So last year the pile hung around till July 9th because we had a really bad April snowstorm. I remember that 31 inches of snow. You get that kind of snow, yeah, you're going to have a snow pile that sticks around long. But look at that, July 9th. So right now, this is its current size, around 2 feet deep. Does it have a chance to stay here till July? It's still impressive that this snow pile for 2 years in a row has lasted well into spring months, into early summer. So I just wanted to bring that up again. This is 2 years in a row that this area in Wisconsin has seen a snow pile that's still existent in a parking garage in Wisconsin. Yeah, it's only about 2 feet deep, but it's June 19th as well. So pretty impressive stuff there. Definitely say it's getting a little bit colder. Here's a current look at our satellite radar. That system is moving off the East Coast, and boy, some storms just exploded in northern Texas into Oklahoma and parts of Arkansas just now. Almost atmospheric compression-like type situation. Guys, take a look here at the end of this reel. Go ahead and get out the handy-dandy arrow and show you what I'm talking about right here. Watch right now. Boom. Right at the end. So keep our eyes on that area. And let's go ahead and take a look at our GFS. Actually, we'll go to the windy first. Let's update this really fast. As you can see right now, we got a batch of heavy rain in downtown Columbus, stretching all the way to Chillicothe. Dayton, you're in the clear right now. Parts of Canton, expect rain. Mansfield, tons of rain right now. Heavy rain, lots of lightning north of Columbus into Cambridge. Pittsburgh, get ready. You're getting ready to get some of these thunderstorms rolling into your parts of the woods. Parts of Kentucky, Bowling Green, Somerset, Lexington, Kentucky, Louisville, getting heavy rain as we speak right now. Parts of Tennessee, Nashville just got a heavy batch of rain moving through. Now Murfreesboro, along Interstate 24. Look out down there in Manchester, Deckard, Estill Springs, and Winchester. You guys are going to see a line of thunderstorms moving in, and there's a lot of lightning involved with that as well. And then we go back a little further here, taking a look at this recent outbreak of, look at all this lightning, and that was part of that that explosion of activity in just a matter of seconds. So this storm is packing a lot of punch when it comes to lightning moving through Arkansas right now, southern Arkansas. Little Rock, you're about to get nailed. Let's see if we can zoom in here and give you guys a little bit of an idea of what cities are getting ready to get hit. Right now here in Arkansas is the most concerned. Tons of lightning, heavy rain, Camden, Monticello, Pine Bluff, brace yourselves, Magnolia, Eldora, and then parts of northern Texas as well, DeKalb, Linden, and Mount Pleasant going through a pretty bad storm right now as well. And that was the action I was talking about on the end of our satellite. Also, we got to watch out in central Texas as well. Brownwood into Morgan, lots of lightning with this very small cell, but very, very powerful. And just over a matter of minutes, huge amounts of lightning developing with these storms, especially the one over Brownwood right now. I wouldn't be surprised if you go to Twitter and search Brownwood, Texas. You're going to probably see some pretty radical looking lightning strikes as we speak right now. This is local time 10:03 Eastern, so it's about 9:03 over in Texas at this time, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go ahead and take a look at our GFS radar outlook. This is for Thursday. Yes, that's correct. Most of the United States in the east, the Midwest, and the southeast are going to receive widespread rain showers throughout the day. Into the 20th, the south will get some action as well overnight. And this storm system will move into the northeast by Thursday night as more rain showers continue to develop behind that in Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota, into Nebraska, and northern parts of Kansas before it finally flows into Iowa and Missouri by Friday. And then by the weekend, more heavy rain to hit southern Illinois and southern Indiana and invading parts of southwestern Ohio as well into the weekend. Saturday, June 22nd, a little bit of a dry spell, but more showers and storms develop across the Carolinas, Tennessee, Kentucky. More line of storms back in Oklahoma and Kansas. Colorado also looking at some storm action. And then we got a big low pressure system in southern Canada that's edging Montana and North Dakota. We're going to watch that storm, and it kind of just, again, the atmosphere loads up. Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, Missouri, Indiana, Illinois, more of the same. Heavy rain, moderate rain back in Ohio. As soon as that system moves into Monday, we got more heavy rain on the backside of this, redeveloping in Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, again, St. Louis, Kansas City, Wichita, Des Moines. We need to watch out for these areas. There's going to be a couple days where we get a lot of heavy rain and then more scattered showers across the Ohio Valley before early next week we start to see these showers get lighter and lighter across the region. So a little bit of good news so far in this GFS outlook, but still chances of heavy to moderate rain continue to develop, and they start back up again on June 27th before moving across the same areas of Illinois and Ohio, kind of remaining stationary in the Arkansas, Missouri, western Tennessee, and western Kentucky region, and more moisture for the south finally by the end of June. There's a high pressure system that's sitting over the Great Lakes. It's kind of keeping Ohio and the Northeast dry for a few days. So if anything, there's been a little bit of change in the pattern here, but by July 2nd, expect more showers and storms to start inundating the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and back across the east and the Northeast before more storms move in from the Northwest once again across the Ohio Valley by the 4th of July. So a lot of this moisture is now shifting through Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Virginia, and parts of the Northeast and the Deep South. But we still get bouts of heavy rains from time to time in the heartland part of our country. The Middle Plains, right here on the 27th of June in Kansas, and then again heavier rain on June 24th, so 3 days before that. Again, the 23rd of June, a weak system on the 21st, and then this widespread amount right now that's happening mainly in the Midwest and the East. So still plenty of rain chances for the Midwest, the Northern Plains, the Southeast, Florida, Northeast. But in the West, starting to get a little dry. And nothing wrong with that, because they actually, parts like Arizona and New Mexico, actually have a surplus of rain. So this dry weather in the southwest and northwest part of the United States meanwhile in Canada, we're getting nasty cold and snow and rain. And the southwest part, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, California, Washington, and Portland, Oregon, those areas were going to remain dry for a little while. We've had a wet, miserable spring, winter. Ohio, actually Dayton, Ohio has 26.43 inches of rain year to date right now. Seattle is sitting at 14.43, and they're getting ready to go through another dry spell. So definitely some pattern shifts are underway, and we will start to see some relief, a little bit drier weather coming to the Midwest and to the Central Plains. But really, at this point, the ground's so saturated, we don't have to have 4 inches of rain in one day. We can just get an inch of rain for the day and still have some flooding issues in parts of Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Oklahoma, parts of Texas. Doesn't need much rain right now as we speak. Temperatures, the last broadcast we were talking about warmth. The deep south and the west definitely going to be a lot warmer. And then we start to heat up a little bit across the central U.S. on June 27th. That heat continues to expand a little bit further north. By the 30th of June, we'll see readings in the 80s in the Dakotas. Still relatively cool in the northwest, in the mid-70s, the upper 60s. But the 80s will inundate the United States by the 1st of July, no doubt, except for the northwest part of the country. That will remain a little bit cooler. And they're actually expecting cooler temperatures in the northwest and the western part of the United States for the end of June and July. But GFS is kind of showing a different picture. Now, the heat looks like it's going to be here. It's summer. But something interesting here on June 4th, Ohio and northward, the Midwest, the upper Midwest, the northern plains, and the Northeast kind of cool down a little bit on the 4th of July. Look at these temperatures. Blazing hot in the Southwest, in Texas, in Oklahoma, Kansas, where it usually does get hot. But the Southeast gets a little relief, and so does the Midwest and the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic states. Look at these lows for July 5th. Seeing 40s and 50s in Maine. 80s return, mid-70s, low 80s. Not bad for July in Ohio. I've lived there. It's usually hot and humid right now. So far, the forecast that I was kind of banking on, which was the South gets hot, the Southwest gets hot, and we see a heat up in the Central Plains states. That's holding together. Cooler in the Northeast, about average right now for this time of year when you get to July 5th, 83 degrees. It's right where we should be. I can tell you right now, 75 degrees near Toledo, Ohio is not where we should be for an Ohio 4th of July. Those folks are in the mid-80s up that far north. Dayton, Ohio only expected to get to 80 degrees on 4th of July, and the overnight lows are going to be in the upper 50s. So that's hoodie weathers, folks. You're going to be watching fireworks in hoodies, basically, on the 4th of July in Ohio. Parts of Michigan, definitely. New York as well, and of course the rest of the Northeast. So no surprise here on the temperatures getting hot, but a little bit surprised that we cool off a little bit too in parts of the United States where usually we see the heat really crank up. And so far, the heat is staying in the deep south for the most part. I mean, we're touching 80s and 90s throughout the Central Plains, the Dakotas, Nebraska, Kansas. But how long term is this going to be? For these folks, I hope it's long term because I know how much they need the heat right now for these crops to grow. So this is not a bad thing, folks. When we're talking about our food security and how bad we've had it so far, we need this heat. We need this dry weather. So hopefully this is a sign of a pattern change where we can get some action from some of these farms. But I got to be honest with you guys, some of these farmers are already past that point if it's too late. So this weather cooperating is happening a little bit later. Now this would be okay. We could just say, well, let's just plant late and we'll harvest later. But you have to have temperatures to sustain that. You know, we could start getting cold again. If we planted now, if we relied on 2 more weeks of letting it dry out and planted after that, I mean, we would be at our first freeze before we got to harvest in some areas. And with Australia getting their cold earlier this year, I want to believe that trend is possibly going to happen here in the United States, and we could be looking at our first freeze in northern parts of the United States by, honestly, the first week of October, possibly late September, if we follow suit to what happened in Australia in the beginning of their autumn and winter season. So lots going on, folks. Let's take a look. This is the rain precipitation. So we showed you this before. 6 to 8 inches in the Ohio, Indiana region. On top of that, we're going to receive another 4 to 6 inches of rain in those same regions that just got 6 to 8. So your rain totals aren't going to stop. You're breaking records left and right. Flooding will continue, and that's just the problem, guys. Into July, we're still going to see floods in Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, parts of Missouri, parts of Kansas, parts of Iowa. Not much improvement. Even though the temperatures will be a lot warmer, we're still going to experience quite a bit of moisture. Not as much as we've seen lately, thank God, but still enough. Put these weather maps in motion. Hey, Mario, would you like to come over and say hi to everybody?
I would love to say hi to everyone, Jake.
Oh, by the way, I want to show this map. It's snowing in Greenland. The area where we're worried about all this ice, it's snowing right now in Greenland. Just wanted to throw that out there, folks. If you want to take a look at our map here, I'll zoom in.
Fire up the presses, everyone.
Let's, it's dire. Just in case if you're worried about breaking out the flip-flops and the beach suits, here we have snow, Greenland, right in this area. Same area everybody's concerned about ice melting. Okay, sorry, I had to, Murray.
Oh, Jake, I wouldn't expect any less from you. First off, I would like to thank Matthew McDonald and Matt Bros for their super chats. That's very kind of you. We very much appreciate that. We had a lot of mods in the chat. I don't know if I have them all off the top of my head. Carlos, Rain, Jessica. Oh my god!
Oh wow! Some of these names I haven't heard in a while. There's a lot
of them that haven't been there. Matt Bros is in here.
Matt is a mod now.
He should be. I should just make him.
Just go ahead and make him a mod.
I'll do that.
I say he's at least a GSM contributor.
I can't do it right now while we're
Sure.
live, but I'll do it. All right, I promise.
Looking like lots of rain coming to the UK too over the next several days. They're also going to get a little warmer too, but significant rain coming to this region once again. Go ahead, Mari.
Oak says that your presentation is very smooth, and he's willing to bet that Mari gets major credit for show prep.
Absolutely. It's a little bit of both.
We're a team effort here. This channel takes a lot of work to keep going. It's not just YouTube. It's Twitter, Facebook. It's like the website.
I'll give you a quick example of teamwork. While I'm reading articles, Mari's in the background talking about other articles and giving me facts. So I have to train my brain to take one side of it to listen to Mari and the other side reading another article. So, I mean, it really is a team effort every day.
And then we have people asking us for interviews. We have people we're asking for interviews. I'm helping very important people with very important projects in regards to this topic. So we're working on a lot of stuff. So we appreciate everyone. I got off topic here, G.
We were thanking people.
John wrote us a poem for the GSM community.
Oh, boy.
Roses are wet, violets are wet, everything's wet, please stop raining.
That is a pretty good poem.
If I didn't get it right, I'm sorry. It just made me laugh. Milky Way, actually, he's another mod that was in the chat we haven't seen in a while. He actually said the corn out in Tennessee near him is 4 foot tall.
Yeah, I believe that.
So good.
Yep.
Good. And he wants to talk to you about micronova, so you're going to have to message him in the background.
Will do.
All right.
Quickly, before you continue, notice, guys, we got a little bit of a low-pressure system in Australia to kind of watch over the next several weeks going into July. And also in mid-July, it looks like the chance for snow in southern Australia again. Go ahead.
Jake, you're like the worldly weatherman. Thank you.
No, thank you. Because of you, I kind of look at our analytics, and I see where most of our people are watching.
No, it's just me. I said, Jake, we have a lot of people in Australia, and they just want a heads up
Australia,
of what's going
UK,
on.
Europe,
we have a
Canada.
lot of people over the pond, and in Canada, they want a little bit of attention when it comes to the weather. So
now, if we start getting attention from North Korea, I don't know what to do.
Please no. We're happy to go ahead and cover a broader spectrum with the tropical tidbits. Okay. Speaking of tropical tidbits, we did have a question about, is there anything developing out there? And I've been keeping my eye on. I haven't seen anything. It doesn't seem like the ocean temperatures are really favoring anything like that, but I haven't checked recently. Go on, Jake.
You're right. No, the waters are still cool. The North Atlantic is still below baseline. I mean, high pressure is developed over the middle of the ocean. The waves off of Africa are fizzling out, if there is anything coming off of Africa. So looking at this chart, I mean, we are quiet. And again, that goes with these El Niños with the wind shear. And the more wind shear that is present, then the better chances of these hurricanes actually not getting their acts together and making landfall. So far, so good. As far as into the near future, into mid-July, there is nothing. There's no chance of any kind of development at this point through July 5th.
We have a few new people that chimed in. One person, Jaminit. I guess you guys with your usernames. Hello, Mari. I'm trying to get friends and family to come to the GSM channel. I have a lot that are finally waking up, and I'm trying to take the scare out and replace it with knowledge. So GSM it is. That is awesome.
Great to hear.
That is really great to hear. I have problems myself getting my friends and family over here paying attention to what's going on, and we're in their ears all the time, aren't we, Jake? It's very hard to get people convinced.
If you talk to them like the way I'm talking to you right now, you're going to get somewhere. If you're yelling and screaming and, saying sensational things and we're going to die and this and that, to me, the people who are just average, everyday people aren't going to want to hear that.
Well, people don't get why I geek out. I'm like, I get to talk to Valentina Zarkova today. And people don't understand my excitement with it. They're like, she's just the crazy science nerd or something that, whatever, Mari. I get a lot of that. Carlos says the next high over Greenland can reach 1045. So check his Twitter out. He tweets some great stuff right alongside David Birch, Starman. Really a great community on Twitter. Very enjoyable. A lot of people, a lot of wealth of information.
I learned a lot about INSO on Twitter.
There's some great stuff on Twitter. Kansas Terry said in her area 95% of the fields got planted, and that's just what she can see. If the weather cooperates, the harvest will be big enough. We just need to avoid any early frost. Fall frost.
That's
that's
the biggest concern now.
What an awful thought that is now to even think of that, but that is so true.
They're busting their butts. They're working their asses off. They finally get planted, and now they look at the dates and they think, "Oh boy, are we going to be able to get this harvest out? Is this going to happen?" Because early frost, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to be scare tactic here, but I do think it's possible in a lot of parts in the United States by late September.
Grizzly just popped in and did a super chat just now. Thank you very much, buddy. We haven't seen you in a while. You've been popping in late. We're going to have to get your notifications fixed somehow. That's all I really got. You made fun of my promotion on Teespring with our t-shirts, Jake, about the free shipping. So
I didn't make fun of it.
I changed the promo code to GSM Love because we love all y'all. And it's 20% off. So it's back to being 20% off for the rest of the month.
See, I like it.
Does that make you happy, Jake?
Things are on sale. I'm happy. So
okay, so there, you strike a hard deal, Jake. I hope all of you have a wonderful evening. We'll be back at, Friday live, right, Jake? And we'll have some solar updates and all that fun stuff. Did I steal your thunder, Jake? Do you want me to say we'll talk soon, too? I'm just...
All right. Thank you, Mari, our lovely producer. And she's wide awake tonight. So good stuff there. All right. So, guys, we will check in live again Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The lovely Mari will also probably have us a couple of solar updates throughout the week to finish us off. So until then, on Friday night, we will talk soon, guys. Take care.